pastors, business owners, etc. It's all good.
These are all your people.
It's people. We have to empower and inspire everyone around us at all times.
This is your tribe. This is your tribe.
Yes.
I wish you had saved that for the very end, because that sounds like something that you would say at the very end of the performance.
I couldn't hold it in anymore.
Oh gosh. So wow.
Guys.
I don't know. Like that was like an explosion of words. Very good, Bridget. Very good. They're all your people.
I'm excited about something, Chris, like, being galvanized, becoming galvanized. Are you
going to become galvanized?
I mean, I feel like it's inevitable,
I feel like it's inevitable.
Are you even doing it right if you're not galvanizing yourself?
Are you even doing it right?
Steve, what you might not know is I have a new. I
know, Chris. I know. Okay, like let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Okay, like. Come back, sir. Come back. I'm gonna pull you back. I'll pull you back.
Wait, I have a new program too, Steven. Do you want to hear about that one?
Yeah. Oh, Bridget, are you formally announcing? Bridget, are you announcing your program tonight? You want to announce your program? I'm not going to announce mine.
You better.
I want to announce mine because Steven already knows about it.
No, you better announce it. I'm just kidding. You better announce it.
Bridget, announce it. What's your new program, Bridget? You've got this crazy new program.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. I literally have multiplied myself in an 8-week Find Your Freedom program where anybody can access it. I mean, I shared it today with someone and they were like,
"What?"
I'm like, I literally created it so that it feels like I'm sitting there in front of you. Like that is how personalized I was able to get recording this program. And it's all about leveling up in absolutely every single way.
And it is like, if I know, it's like they're just sitting there with you doing this.
Yeah, it's not like watching any other recorded program. It literally like I mean, listen.
That was bad, Steve.
You're not in that category at all. You're galvanized. You're a whole nother level. But this is literally and I got the best compliment today too about partnerships and how effective it is when multiple people who are focused on empowerment come together and create like this cyclone of empowerment.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference who you surround yourself with, right, Chris?
Yeah, you're right. And we do, this is kind of the thing that you and I talk about all the time. It's like the people that you bring into close proximity to you are the people that are going to inspire you and uplift you. And that is why I started my new program, which is called Growth Galvanized, which is you know what? I'm going to asterisk the heck out of this. Okay. We've only been doing this thing for 9 days. This is me making an asterisk for anybody joining late. I'm making an asterisk. Okay. Is this how you make an asterisk with your fingers?
That's actually how they're doing it.
I'm going to asterisk.
Offshoot of the hashtag.
I'm going to asterisk what I'm saying. Your results will not be the same. You have to do the work. Your mileage may vary. Results not typical. All of those things. The program requires work, and if you're not willing to work, then it's not right for you. There are people in this that inside of 9 days. That's right. You see the asterisk. There are people that have been in this 9 days and have already made more than 5 figures.
Wow.
From what's going on in Growth Galvanized. It is a mind-blowing program that is geared to do one thing, and it is to literally create a firestorm of clients coming to people's businesses. And I was on a call with the group. We got 20 people in this thing. I'm on a call with the group, and one person was like, raise their hand, more than 5 figures in the first 9 days.
Boom.
That's it. I know how to get done.
And the coffee mug is very cool. There's a coffee mug, I think, with the word galvanized on it somewhere.
Yeah,
very cool.
I don't have it in here right now. You know what? I'm going to see if I can summon the mug. I'll see if I can summon
that mug. Summon that mug.
Honestly, it looks pretty epic. I mean, it really does.
No, it is epic. It is epic.
It is epic. I love it.
And you guys have both employed the use of alliteration, which in my opinion is like, I'm a big fan of alliteration. I love alliteration. I try to use alliteration as much as I can, even in my normal talking jargon, I guess. But yes,
you should have said in my normal talking tone.
You what?
I try to use
in my normal talking tone. Yes, in my normal talking tone.
My normal speaking sequence.
Yes.
Yeah,
wow,
that's good. Wow,
that was incredible.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
The words that whip out of my mouth.
Okay, Chris. Okay, we can just.
What on earth, guys? It's Wednesday. Look at your watches. Look at the clock. Look at the clock on your wrist. It is Wednesday. It is just after 8 o'clock, and we are here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock to share our incredible insights. If I do say so myself, into growing
incredible insights. Insane.
You guys, you know what's happening in the world right now? The world, and it's here where I am, Stephen. You're close by. Bridget, you'll be here soon.
Yes,
here in Florida, it's we've had a very different experience than the world has had in the past couple of months, past 18 months. We've had a different experience. It's kind of like, anything goes here. So, but the rest of the world,
Florida.
What's that?
I said it's the best way to describe Florida.
Yeah, anything goes. Yeah, it really is anything goes here. And the rest of the world is starting to catch on and things are starting to happen. But the second order consequence to that is, hey, look at all of those businesses that have been letting you sit around and work from home, slouching around, doing half of half the job that you would normally do, you W-2 employees. Guess what? That they're going to go out and they're going to ring the triangle. They've got that metal stick in there, that whatever that thing is called, the triangle ringer. They've got that thing in their hands. And that thing, they just stuck it right in the middle of that triangle. And you know what they're about to do. Ding, 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 ding. And you know what that means when that bell rings. You got to come back to work.
Oh, no.
Back to reality.
Yeah, I know you. You're sitting there right now and you're like, shh, right. They're going to, listen, it's inevitable. You can only work from home for so long. They're going to ring that bell. They're going to call you back to work. And then what?
Yes.
You're going to have to, not only are you going to have, you
might. I mean, we don't know. We don't want to jump to any conclusions, but you probably will.
You're probably going to have to start dressing appropriately again. You got the commute, you got the car, you got to put gas in the car, you got to drive with all the other humans to the office. Then you got to park the car, walk across the parking lot, walk up the stairs, go into your office. Right, you're using a bathroom that like 1,000 other people use. You got to go back to work. You got to go back to the office. That's what's going to happen. They're ringing that bell. They're calling you back. You've been living the entrepreneurial life for the last 18 months.
Yep.
You've been working from home. You've been doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, I do go into an office and love it. So for the record, but that'll be a side point that we get to later.
Asterisk all of this.
Asterisk.
Stephen.
Yes, asterisk. Yes. Give me that asterisk.
Stephen works at like a magical place. Stephen works at
Disney.
Very unique law firm. The Orlando Law Group. There's a little plug for all my beautiful Orlando Law Group employees.
Stephen works. Yep, he works at a magical place. And
but not everyone loves their workspace, Stephen.
So that's true.
You're a very lucky, blessed man.
Stephen, you're a very lucky boy.
Right? Who was probably upset. Like if they told you to work from home, you're like, I'm going to miss everybody that I have to see. I'm going to Facebook message them and be like, oh my gosh, when can we see each other again? Not that you would use that tone. You'd say it in a much more masculine tone than that. But literally, you love your workspace. And that's not true for everyone. And, a lot of people, that I talked to said, oh my gosh, I just got a taste of what it feels like to work from home and to set my own schedule. And I love it. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to hear that weird cowbell ringing or whatever, triangle, whatever Chris was talking about. And they're going to be like, they're at a crossroads because they know what it feels like to live an entrepreneurial life. But now they have to decide, do I go back to what I knew or or do I explore the unknown in potentially working from home, developing a side hustle and growing that, or developing my own thing?
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say this because, and you can exit the broadcast if you're out there right now and you think that not you, Bridget, you're not going anywhere. If you're watching and you're teetering and you're like, wow, maybe I should become an entrepreneur and kind of, do this thing. I just want to tell you this. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes at your job that you have to, that are hard, that you're going to have to take care of.
Now you have to do those things.
Yeah, now you're going to have to do those things. So I'm going to start this whole thing by saying you need to do some honest self-reflection, because all of the crap that you don't want to do, like taxes and legal and compliance and government stuff and setting up your entity, all of those things, you had somebody else doing that for you. You just had to do what you did best. If you believe that you can do that at home, you need to now take in all those things. You need to start doing all those things. So what we're talking about tonight is you've been called back to the office and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I want to go back. You're like, that Bridget Hom, she's an entrepreneur. Look at her. That Chris Prouty, look at him. Looks like he barely ever works.
It looks like he barely ever works.
My son just says, Mom, all you do is talk to people all day.
Yeah.
Oh, well, honestly, that's an incredible for an entrepreneur. That's an incredible compliment. You're like, thank you so much. That's the goal.
Well, he prefaced it with, Mom, you don't even work.
Yeah.
No,
let's talk about two things. Let's talk about the people that should make the choice. And leave the 9 to 5. Yeah, like Larry, leave the 9 to 5 for the 24/7. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
What
it is. Yeah, go ahead, Bridget. I was just going to say you don't even know days of the week anymore. When you do this, you don't know the days of the week anymore. I'm not letting anybody see my paycheck. No way.
But no, that it's like, oh, this day ends in day. So that means I can work or not.
The sun is up. I'm going to start working. Okay, so let's talk about two things. Let's talk about who's going to decide to quit the W-2 and just make that burn the boats and start the job, start their entrepreneurial journey, and who's right to just say, no, I got to go back, and I got to go back in there. Yeah. So, let me just say this. If you have a skill set, right, that you can solve a problem for a large group of people, and that group of people is a group of people that you could talk to for 18 hours a day and never get bored of those people, you have got what you need to start an entrepreneurial journey. So those two things, you have to self-reflect. You have to have a skill set that solves a problem for a group of people. But more importantly, because you don't have to have that. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that later after you guys go. You have to have a group of people that you want to serve, and you have to be able to talk to these people. If you got up in the morning and they were all over you and you were talking to them and you talked to them until you went to bed at night, and you went to bed at night and you laid there with a smile on your face saying, I love what I did all day today. You have to be able to just love talking to this group of people. And then you have to be able to solve a problem for them. Bridget, what do you think?
I just got super excited because that's what I do every night.
That is what you do every day. I was thinking about you while I was saying that. That is what you do every day.
And probably everyone else listening in right now, because everyone who is here chiming in, listening, who is here committed every week, they're committed to growth. They're committed to getting inspired and empowered every week, and they love what they're doing. They're also open to new ideas. So welcome to everyone in the chat. Hi, June.
There's a lot. June wants to do healings. By the way, Stephen, can anybody guess what I'm drinking tonight?
What in the world is that? Is that apple juice?
I can't answer that.
Anybody want to guess what I'm drinking?
This like a new health routine for you?
Yeah,
This is my I had iced coffee at 3 o'clock. This is the melted ice with the residual coffee in the cup.
Wow.
This is all I have in here right now.
That's what it takes. That's what if you can do that, then you can lead that.
This is how much I love coffee. This is like literally,
yeah, that's a man after my own heart right there. Is if we're drinking that kind of stuff.
You know it. So okay. Bridget, you're right. You're right though. You're right with all the things you say. Steve, what do you think?
You know what I got thinking about when you guys were talking, and this is the truth about it, is I over time have had to change my mindset from a 9-to-5 mindset, and this has taken a long time. I've worked jobs where I was at home, I've worked jobs when I was in the office, and I've had to retailor my mindset from thinking about my job as a job and thinking about my job as a responsibility. And I'll give you an insight into that, right? What I do for companies is I do their marketing. That's a very general term. However, number two things that happen: marketing never sleeps, and marketing's never done. You always want more customers, right? So, and when you think about your family, when you think about providing for your family, when you think about helping your friends, aren't those not really jobs? Those are responsibilities that you create. Little jobs that take care of the responsibility. So I've had to retailer my mind to where, you know what, once I started thinking about things as a responsibility, it was totally okay for me to check my email at 10 o'clock p.m. Period. The same way it'd be okay for me to check on a friend at 10 o'clock p.m. Right? It became totally natural and normal for me to think like that. But what I want for people is I want them to be, no matter where they are, if they're in an office, if they're on Mount Everest, I want them to have that mindset, because that's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a gift. There's a lot of people that are just living, and I'm not joking, they're living for after 5 o'clock or on the weekends. That's the only reason that
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And that's okay. But like I said, there's going to come a time if you own your own business, or if you're working for a business that you care about so much, like myself, that it's basically, I mean, you realize, like, I'm in the boat too. We're on the same boat together. That job becomes a responsibility, and you think about it 24/7, and your goals and everything you do kind of increases a lot once you start to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Well, I like what you were talking about, because once you take it out of the box and stop seeing it as you're doing it for somebody else, maybe an employer, etc., when you start doing your job, whether it be your 9-to-5 or your entrepreneurship calling, if you will, once you take it out of that box that you are slaving for a 9-to-5, you're waiting for that 5 p.m., stop spotlighting me. It's freaking me out.
She's overriding the controls, Chris. Yeah.
When you can flip the switch and change your mindset, as Steve Stefan was saying, and get to the place where it's a responsibility, but more than that, it is a calling. It is a mission. It is an obsession. It's a compulsion to add value to others based on your product, message, or service, or what you're doing. When you're able to transform it and manifest it as your own, then whether you are in a 9-to-5, you're going back to work, you're ringing that weird bell thingy, or you decide, hey, you know what? I'm not ringing the bell. I'm going full tilt into something I am really inspired by, and I'm going to go speak to people about that. But whatever it is, you have to manifest it as your own. What do you guys think?
Eric chimes in saying the key is to work 12 hours a day in 6 hours and then put in the overtime. That sounds like a very complex formula for success, but I bet that works. So, everyone, we're talking tonight about what happens when you're called back into the office. And you're sitting there and you're like, man, I have been thinking about starting this entrepreneur thing, and now is the time to make the decision. And I will say this, there has never been a better time in history to decide to become an entrepreneur, whether you're a coach, consultant, service provider, whatever it is, there has never been a better time in history. It's just ripe right now. And then we see a lot of people doing it, and we also see a lot of people failing at it. So earlier I said that you need two things to be a success, to start as an entrepreneur, and you need to be able to solve a problem, and you need a group of people that you're inspired to talk to for a long period of time. Well, I'm going to jump back to that, and I'm going to say you don't need to be able to solve a problem. You just need the group of people. Because if you are astute enough, and there is a group of people that you can talk to for hours and hours and hours, you could find a problem they have and uncover the solution and become the sole source for that solution. And I will stake it in the ground right now and say that's a better position to be in, because you can find the problem that no one's been able to solve. And then you put your head down and you find a solution to that problem. And now you have this wide open opportunity to become a very highly paid entrepreneur solving a problem for a group of people. I'm going to say this. June chimes in. She wants to do this, and she says, find me something. I have bad news for you, June. The only person that's going to be able to find that, listen, this is where it gets hard. The only person that's going to be able to find that is you. You cannot rely on other people to find your inspiration. And if you can't find it yourself, well, we're going to talk about you in a couple of minutes, but you simply cannot expect others to solve this problem for you. Lauren chimes in and says, so right. And she's referring to what I just said about how find a group of people that you're inspired to talk to and then discover the pain or the problem that you can solve for them. And you have a wide open opportunity, and no one does it better than Lauren, Lauren as an entrepreneur is bringing a ton of people over to Italy on a retreat to help them manifest greatness in their lives. And Bridget, if you're not connected with Lauren, that is someone that you need to know. And in fact, everybody, if you can hear my voice right now, live or in the replay, connect with Lauren. You see her name right up on the screen. And wow, you want to talk about somebody that has the vision and that has the insight into that audience. Bridget, what do you think? Bridget, you were about to jump all over that.
Bridget's going to Italy. That's what I saw in Bridget's eyes. She's like, I'm going to Italy right now.
What?
Oh my gosh, I would love to go to Italy right now. Lauren, we need to chat. Let's chat. BridgetHom.me. Anyway, Chris, I was so amped up and inspired by what you said. Also, if the answers are within you, on top of looking at, an audience that you feel inspired to talk to, those answers and what really is going to drive you and propel you, that's within you. And, Chris and I, we've all talked about how important it is to write things out. And that allows you to access those deep subconscious thoughts and let them surface to your conscious mind. So get out a pen, June, write some things out that you are truly excited about, that excites you. And, number it 1 through 5, and then go with number 1, test it out. Like Chris said, start talking about it, start testing that. And utilize, the people around you as your test market. We've talked about that in the past as well. So the answers are within you.
And with that, you have to learn to love the pain of failing, right? I think that's a key characteristic to any entrepreneur. You have to learn to love the pain of failing, because you take a couple of good swings, you might hit it out of the park once, but really this is the long game, and you've got to just learn to love that pain. We're talking tonight. Bridget, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I 100% agree. And you have to become resilient for the sake of helping others solve their problems. You have to become resilient to the failing, like you said. Loving the pain or embracing that it's so true. It's a necessary part of the journey, right, Chris? I mean, entrepreneurship is a huge process of personal development while professionally succeeding and failing at certain points in time. But it's all about, having those people who empower you, having those coaches, those mentors, people who really are with you in that struggle and say, you've got this.
Larry Snyder says you can't succeed without struggle. I'm going to challenge him on that. And I'm going to say this, Bridget, I'm going to say this, that if you, like me, learn to love the pain and the struggle so much, you never acknowledge it. You're like, ooh, you're like, oh, that hurts. And I feel so good. It just because you know what's coming. You just know. And it's the failure that feels the pain and quits. And it's the winner that feels the pain and says, that feels so good. What is coming next? How much worse can this get? And then all of a sudden, boom, it's like the whole world. You know it, Bridget. You're laughing because you've experienced it. I see the look on your face. How much worse can this get? And then all of a sudden, like Lauren McLaughlin, you've been there many times, and then all of a sudden you're growing strong and it all starts to click in place. Here's another, Robin Thomas, an entrepreneur, amazing entrepreneur, no stranger to struggle, but she loves it and she embraces it. And that's, so I challenge Larry. Larry says you can't succeed without the struggle. I say you succeed and you no longer acknowledge the struggle because you love it and you welcome it.
Well, it's a part of it. It adds value to you in some way. It always does. If you are able to stare your pain in the face and say, how does this serve me in my success?
Yep.
How will I continue to level up it through this? Like, not avoiding it. Don't avoid anything. Embrace it, walk through it, and then analyze it, dissect it, and say, how can I use this to serve me, to serve others, and continue to grow my business?
Robin wakes up every day excited to serve. Yeah, Robin just wakes up every day excited to serve the people that she serves. Health and wellness. You've got to check out Robin Thomas. She's amazing. But she wakes up every day excited to serve. She just busts through those challenges. She stares them down like what do I always say? Like an apex predator staring down its prey. Stephen, I want to toss it over to you for a second, and I want to highlight something that Eileen Rhyme said. Eileen talks about, so Eileen, the queen of the career, if you've been here even once, you know Eileen, she's amazing, gets people jobs. She has entrepreneurs going to her because they've decided that they just don't want to do it.
It happens.
And they want to go back into the workforce. And she finds these people, like that. They're hired by the end of the conversation almost. So
this is what I would say. This is what I would say is if you're working at any job, really, you're probably working with and for an entrepreneur. And the truth is these are people you can learn from. These are people who you can become inspired by. These are people who are your partners, And so what you shouldn't do is you should not learn from them. I think you've got to go in there with that mentality that you're going to learn from everyone around you and how they kind of conduct some of these things. That's going to really be that. That's why both of your programs are very, very powerful. Can you imagine you guys doing your program and you're not living proof, right? Can you imagine like, you've got your programs, but then they realize you're not doing this every day. It would be a disservice. Yeah. And so I think one of the things that makes that so powerful is the fact that you guys are doing it every day. So people get to learn from you the best way, and so, but yeah, treat yourself, no matter what happens in your life, you are an entrepreneur for your own life. It sounds corny, but it's true. Like you're the only person who's going to advocate for your life the best. I promise you that. And so no matter if you're in an office on Mount Everest, that rule is still the same. And so you have to face that and say, you know what? I'm gonna do what's best for me. I'm gonna learn along the way. I'm gonna be my own entrepreneur. I work for amazing people, amazing companies, and I have tons of entrepreneurial things that I'm doing for myself, for them, for everyone. What I'm doing right now, so it's like there's just don't limit yourself. Don't say, oh, I'm just this person, or I'm just that thing. Like don't limit yourself.
It's really beautifully put. Darlene chimes in really quickly. She can't imagine working a job she'd get fired. Darlene is someone else that you are, if you're watching this. Bridget, you know Darlene? You ever met Darlene?
I don't think we have.
Darlene will get your book published, not just yours, anybody's, in 40 days. Like you go to her with, you're at some level with writing a book. You go to Darlene and you say, how do you do it? And she's like, talk to me in 40 days. I'll have your book ready to go. That's what she does. And she is the owner of 40 Day Publishing. I recommend everyone to connect. We have been talking tonight about what happens when you're called back to work after 18 months of living a what is this? What are these things? Butterflies. You're living a pseudo entrepreneurial lifestyle, working from home. Somebody wants to meet with Darlene. June, just find her in the chat. It's Darlene Shortridge. You find her in the chat. She'll get your book published in 40 days, June. June's writing a book about dog walking. Awesome. You've been working from home, living the entrepreneurial life. You're called back to work. You've got to make the decision which you're going to do. We are at the bottom of the hour, guys. Stephen, what's the one thing you would tell someone to do when they're faced with this? What's the one thing you would tell them?
I'm going to go right back to what I said earlier and say, listen, guys, eliminate the word job. Think about the word job. You don't even like that word. It has a negative connotation to it, right? Like, but if I said the word responsibility, that word, wow. We've elevated it, and so you've got to start thinking about your jobs. I'm talking about even the smallest of jobs as responsibilities that will enhance them for you.
Incredible. I'm going to say this. Mine's going to be very tactical and something that I haven't talked about. Of course, take the foundation, find the group of people that you can talk to, find a problem that you can solve, take a look at the bank account. If you've got 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank account, even if you've got to kind of struggle for 6 months, just kind of, living, oh boy, I hope I have enough. If you've got 6 months in the bank account, you've got a group of people you can serve and a problem that you can solve, you go for it right here and right now. Burn the boats and don't look back. Bridget, one last piece of advice for our friends who are here with us tonight. And as always, you get the final word.
If you are at a crossroads right now and you even have an element of, what if I went for it? What if I dove off that cliff and launched into the entrepreneurship life? If you even have a little tiny thought about that, it is very possible that you are not in your calling right now and you're not accessing your limitless potential. So give yourself a time to explore this. Reach out to someone that can help you go through this and start writing. Write about what you love about working your 9 to 5, and then write about what you potentially love about the entrepreneurship life. Start doing your research. The answers are within you.